This is WNEP TV 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, Jack Ruland in Skycam 16, meteorologist Tom Clark with his backyard forecast, and Tim Carlson Sports. This is Newswatch 16.
Good evening. The 132nd annual Bloomsburg Fair is in high gear. The Big Bash in Columbia County is the biggest fair in our area. And even though it's been a bit damp and dreary today, as you can see from Skycam 16, there's quite a lot of activity at the fair. Newswatch 16's Nolan Johannes is live now at the fairgrounds, and it looks like things are really hopping there, Nolan.
No doubt about it, Karen. Hopping it is. I saw that view from Skycam 16 as we came in this afternoon. Cloudy weather makes absolutely no difference. Everybody's having a wonderful time. It's Senior Citizens Day here today. All senior citizens are in for absolutely no price at all for admission. Pete the Clown's behind me right here. He's 10 feet tall. I'm up high so that you can see all these other people are below us here. But we're also wondering about how kind of a hard time or a good time people are having. All the food stands are here. We're smelling an awful lot of good smells, from French fries to funnel cakes to roast beef and roast pork dinner. You can hear the man talking about it right now. But for all the concessionaires that are here, there's about 800 people with stands around here. They have a problem this year. For the first time, the Bloomsburg Fair is asking them to pick up their own liability insurance costs. So today, Newswatch 16's Valerie Devine went out to find out just how they feel about that at the fair, and also if it's having any effect on the fair. Valerie is live right now in the fairgrounds. Valerie, what did you find out?
Well, Nolan, it appears it hasn't had too big of an effect on the fair. In fact, if you take a look around, you can see that most of the concession stand slots are filled. All of the vendors I talked with today say they don't mind paying for their liability insurance. They understand that the liability crunch is a nationwide problem. First time the owners of the Shirt Stop on 11th Street have had to deal with liability insurance. The Shirt Stop comes to the Bloomsburg Fair from the boardwalk in New Jersey. Owner Fred Garvey has liability insurance back home, but he was surprised to find out he had to have it here. He spent all morning trying to find an insurance agent so he could open up his stand.
I'm not upset about it. I got a little bit aggravated because I had to run around, try to get the insurance, and I got, like I said, I want to see about over 20 insurance people, and nobody wants to give me insurance. Finally, I found a person that, sold me insurance.
Other concessionaires I talked with say they didn't have any problems getting the insurance. The average cost is somewhere in the neighborhood of $80 to $150. The owners here at Grotto's Pizza Stand picked up their liability insurance on Friday. They say they didn't mind the extra cost.
I see with the liability crisis in this country that it's a necessary evil of doing business now. Everybody's insurance conscious and insurance suing conscious. So you have to have the liability insurance to operate.
Joe Paglianiti says he's relieved he has the liability insurance, and like other concessionaires here, plans to make up the cost in extra business. Well, while we're on the subject of fairs and business, the figures are in on a fair not too far down the road from here, the Berwick Fair. Now, fair officials tell me even though they consider the fair there a success, that fair was earlier this summer, they're operating under a $254,000 deficit. They say they were hoping to break even on the Berwick Fair, but two-thirds of their deficit came from first-year operating expenses, things like building the fairgrounds. But officials tell me they hope to raise the money to pay off that deficit through private investors, and they're planning on having another Berwick Fair next year. Now, planning is one of the things that officials here in Bloomsburg take some pride in. And Nolan, taking a look at the weather, I could say that their planning's turned out pretty lousy, but the attendance looks like it's pretty good.
Attendance is excellent. A record crowd yesterday. An official just told me moments ago that they're having a record crowd again today. And so they have plans how to spend that money. We'll say good luck also to the Berwick Fair. We're sure they can do the same thing. So that's it for now. We'll be back with more from the Bloomsburg Fair live, of course. Right now, Karen, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Nolan. The state is finally doing something about overweight trucks carrying garbage to northeastern Pennsylvania. And it took a Newswatch 16 investigation of trash haulers to trigger today's start of a crackdown. Newswatch 16's Bob Reynolds was in Montgomery County today as state inspectors began pulling over the big rigs.
This is a common sight at the Lansdale interchange of the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Trucks loaded with Philadelphia area garbage begin the first leg of a trip to our region. The Philadelphia area is running out of places to dump its trash. It's also here where state inspectors started their crackdown on overweight trash trucks.
As long as the industry is here, we know that particularly in the trash industry, disposal industry, there's probably a little greater tendency for them to be overweight.
Fred Juba runs the state's weight enforcement program and drove about 80 miles from Harrisburg just to oversee the Montgomery County crackdown.
Okay, John, you want to back up off the scale? Let them get the scales out. Go ahead, Joe. Take it
Okay, good, thank you.
All the rigs weighed at the turnpike entrance were legal. The inspectors then moved to another area. That's when this truck was found to be about 1,000 pounds over the legal limit. Trucker Jay Moyer says this is the first time he's been pinched in Montgomery County, but he's overloaded his truck in the past.
It depends what you load, where you load. Everything's different. There's nothing, you can't consider what you load. You get a container, we don't know how much is in there.
How many times do you think you've been cited for being overweight?
It's been about my 6th time in the last 6 months.
Officials say the overweight trucks present a safety hazard and chew up state roads, costing taxpayers money. Until Newswatch 16's investigation, trucks were being spot-checked in our area, but nothing was being done in parts of Montgomery County, where many of the rigs pick up their loads. The state admits it was forced into its crackdown by Newswatch 16's reports about the overweight truck problem. Now, the state promises to keep the pressure on and keep tabs on the overweight trucks. We'll keep tabs on the state to make sure that happens. Bob Reynolds, Newswatch 16.
The St. Clair Area School Board is looking into hiring substitute teachers to do the jobs of striking teachers there. Those strikers walked off the job last Friday in a contract dispute with the school board. A state mediator will meet with both sides in the strike on Wednesday, but in the meantime, there's still no school for students in the St. Clair area district. Plus, we'll go back to Nolan live at the Bloomsburg Fair.
A little bit later, we'll be showing you why there will always be fair weather for the fairgoers and showgoers here at the Bloomsburg Fair, even if it does rain. Those stories and more as Newswatch 16 continues.
We're taking a bite out of this apple to make a point. A Delta Dental plan allows employers to take a big bite out of the cost of their group dental program, so you can have the best dental benefits possible. And that's the point. Taking bites out of the cost of a group dental program and still providing special service for your company and your employees, without having dental costs take big bites out of you. Isn't it time you looked into a Delta plan for your workplace?
Allegations tonight that some U.S. Air flight crew members have used drugs. In fact, a Pittsburgh newspaper reports that a pilot nearly died recently from a drug overdose. Newswatch 16's Mark Anik is live at the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Airport. What are people there saying about all this, Mark?
Well, Karen, that depends on who you talk to. Some passengers that we spoke with here say they're worried about drug use by airline flight crew members. One person even told me today he'd rather find a different way to get from here to there. The man who runs this airport says there's really nothing to worry about. Well, either way, people here are talking about the U.S. Air drug case. It is the largest jet carrier at this airport. 4 times a day, U.S. airplanes come and go. Going on one of them today, Chris and Kay Panay of Laceyville. This is the first time they've ever been on an airplane.
Well, I was excited about getting on a plane, but now I don't know.
Could be other pilots, so that's doing the very same thing. It makes you question, like I say, the competency of them and the way they're running their airline system.
U.S. Air says it's only aware of one case of drug abuse involving one of its pilots, and the airline says that pilot isn't flying anymore. Airport Director Bob Kemp says there's never been a drug problem with flight crews here on U.S. Air or any other airline.
I frankly don't think that there's any reason for concern. I personally, as I indicated to you before, I have tickets on U.S. Air for a few days from now. I wouldn't hesitate for 1 second to get on it.
Even so, a passenger here says a case like this is good reason for mandatory drug testing of pilots. And while people debate that issue, a federal grand jury in Pittsburgh is looking into drug use by U.S. Air employees. I'm Mark Anik, Newswatch 16, live with the Instacam at the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Airport. Karen?
Next, our fair weather meteorologist, Tom Clark. Tom?
Okay, thank you, Karen. Well, not too good here this evening. Gray skies overhead. But when we come back, I'll tell you how much warmer it's going to get here tomorrow. You're watching Newswatch 16 on WNEP-TV, and we're proud to serve Bloomsburg and all of Columbia County.
Where do you go for a great breakfast for sandwich?
Burger King is the place, friends. They make them your way, baked. They're crispy and light. You love each bite, so have a crisp sandwich to go.
A light, flaky crisp sandwich with real egg and melted cheese, and your choice of bacon, sausage, or ham. Nobody makes them like Burger King, Lee.
The taste is delicious, Trish. You love it when it's early, curly. There's no better way to start your day, so have a croissant sandwich to go.
A croissant sandwich to go at Burger King. Hurry, it's going fast. Now Slice has 10% fruit juices in a new soft drink. New Mandarin Orange Slice.
We got the juice, we got the jazz.
10% juice.
A great new taste that no one has. We got the juice, we got the twist. We got the crush and sun-kissed and miss.
Mandarin Orange.
We got the juice, we got the splash. Orange Slice, we got the taste that no one has. On ice, we got the juice.
Diet, too.
Orange Slice.
Back once again at the Bloomsburg Fair, a beautiful country and western star is here, a singer, a songwriter, and she's performing right now in front of the grandstand to a packed house. And earlier today, Loretta Young arrived, that is Loretta Lynn, we should say, arrived with her tour buses here at the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds. She is known as America's favorite coal miner's daughter, and she has two shows here tonight. The first one started at 5, is going on right now, along with singer Michael Martin Murphey. The second show starts at about 7:30, a little bit later than that. And as we said, it's a packed grandstand that's now enjoying that first show. Also here at the Bloomsburg Fair, there's a new canopy next to the band shell at the fair. Now this is to provide the audience with protection from the weather that might come in handy this evening. They've been expanding here at the entertainment lineup in the fair, and this year this band shell provides free entertainment practically all day long and all night long for fairgoers. There's about 20 high school bands from all around our area performing all this week, along with other free attractions, as fairgoers can sit down and relax in covered comfort this year. Well, they're relaxing out on the Midway and all across the area. The skies look a little gray, but I think everybody here wants to know, is it going to rain? Tom, you're here. How about it?
Okay, Nolan. Well, thankfully, the rain has held off up to this point, but it does look threatening overhead now. What a crowd we have here on one of the main sidewalks here at the fair, and I'm glad I used my deodorant today, folks. We have a crowd. And where are you from?
Milton.
Milton. And a little one here, young and old, having a good time. Let's have a look at the temperature now in the backyard, and we have a reading that is not too far from 60. Readings low to mid-60s for the range today. And as we check it out, we find out that the humidity is also quite high today in the backyard. We have the wind direction now is coming out of the south at 8 miles per hour. And I'd like to say that Melissa Benich in Harding has 62 degrees, and Ed Watts from Unionville in Lycoming County reports 59 in his backyard. The pollen count 1 today. And the range in temperature, we had that high of 61 degrees. Some of the people dressed in sweaters and a few umbrellas in the crowd here today. 60-degree air over Pennsylvania, 80s knocking on the door now. Upper 70s in Pittsburgh today, and showers and thunderstorms were breaking out along that warm front across Ohio and Indiana. That leading edge of warm air will, in my opinion, push across the state later on tonight, and will bring some rain, and then we should get into some warmer air tomorrow. I think at least 10 to 15 degrees warmer on a Tuesday afternoon, and then that cold front slicing through Wisconsin. Could be some rain at the football game tonight at Green Bay. That line pushing through tomorrow night, and then it's going to stall. The same old story, folks. The clouds are going to hang on most of this week, and we're going to have at least 3 days where it will rain at one point. Now, here we go for the sunrise tomorrow morning. We have 6:52 for that. Sun setting tomorrow at 7 in the evening. Tonight, some showers will be moving in later on this evening. Thankfully, some fog will form in areas. 60 is where it's at about now. Temperatures may rise a bit later on tonight. Now, tomorrow, some sun breaking through at times. 77 degrees should be the high tomorrow. Much warmer. A thunderstorm is possible. Partly sunny on Wednesday, 70. More rain is likely to develop late Wednesday into Thursday. Less than 10 hours left of summer now. The equinox is at 3:59 tomorrow morning. Let's check in with Tim Carlson and find out what's happening in the world of sports. Tim?
Well, Tom, we're going to be talking about exactly what goes on here at the Bloomsburg Fair sports-wise. Plus, coming up on the Sports Watch, we'll have our latest rankings in our high school Super 16. So stay right there.
Look at this place.
They'll be here any minute.
I'll start dinner. You clean up.
Thanks.
It won't take long with the Hoover brush vac and Concept 1.
I'm all done.
See? Hoover has the answer.
Now at Kmart, choose this Hoover upright or this portable Spirit canister, just $69 each. Or save big on this deluxe Hoover upright with tools, only $109.97. Hurry to Kmart for huge savings now during Hoover Week.
Who's playing? McDonald's! NFL kickoff payoff! I'm playing. He's playing. Are you playing? We're all playing.
Collect trading cards of your favorite NFL stars.
I got your card. I got your card. I don't have your card yet.
Every kickoff payoff card is a winner. Win a McDonald's sandwich, fries, or Coca-Cola.
Cards must be redeemed during the following week. Oh, sorry. Hey, you want to play? NFL kickoff payoff. Great idea. Come on, let's go. At McDonald's. See you there.
Sports fans can find something at the Bloomsburg Fair. Tim Carlson is live there to fill us in. Tim?
Well, I'll tell you, Karen, I feel like doing the sports talking like this because Loretta Lynn's playing there right behind me, and I've been indoctrinated with country music while I wait to do the sports here. But we'll be talking about some of the sports that goes on here at the Bloomsburg Fair in just a second. But first things first, let's talk about the Super 16. And for the first time this season, we have not had to drop a team out of the Super 16 football rankings. So let's take a look at how they stack up right now. At number 16, the Tunkhannock Tigers lost for the first time in 4 games to last week's number 15 team, Coughlin. 8-0, the Tigers fall from number 10. At number 15, the Catasauqua Rough Riders, they move up from 16 after pounding Palisades 41-0. At 14, the Lord's Regional Red Raiders, they stay at number 14, getting by Williams Valley 14-6. At number 13, the Coughlin Crusaders, they have yet to lose in 3 games after beating Tunkhannock 8-0 after they move up from number 15. At number 12, the Whitehall Zephyrs, they won big 35-0 over Easton and moved up from number 13. At number 11, the Sealands Grove Seals lost for the first time in 4 games to number 2 Milton on Friday. They dropped from 5th position. At number 10, the Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes up from number 12, and this team is undefeated in 4 games after beating Shamokin 28-8 last week. At number 9, the Berwick Bulldogs, they've won 3 straight and moved up from number 10. At number 8, the Lackawanna Trail Lions, they're perfect in 4 games. They're up from 9th last week. At number 7, the Towanda Black Knights, another unbeaten team in 4 tries. They won a squeaker and move up from number 8. At number 6, the Valley View Cougars, leaders in the Big 11 with 4 straight wins. They're up from 7th. At number 5, the Stroudsburg Mountaineers, they move up from number 6 after a big win over Lehighton Friday night. And number 4, the top 4 stay the same, as a matter of fact. The GAR Grenadiers, their undefeated season continued Friday night with a shutout win. They stay at number 4. At number 3, Marion Catholic, they stay there, but they just won by 1 point last week. At number 2, the Milton Black Panthers, they stay put after beating last week's number 5 team, Sealands Grove, 33-13. And staying in the number 1 spot for the 3rd week in a row, the powerful Williamsport Millionaires. They've won all 4 of their games this year in impressive fashion. 3 of the 4 have been shutouts, including last Saturday's 40-0 win over Shikellamy. Williamsport has outscored its opponents 137-10, and quite a capable number 1 team in our Super 16. Well, as the news folks told you, the Bloomsburg Fair means exhibits, variety, and, of course, plenty of food and fun, which I'll get to after we get done with sports here, of course. But it also includes the excitement of harness racing. And the Saukeys race 6 times a day during the week-long fair. To say the least, for most horse owners, it's a fun event. For Pete Wather and Darlene Haber, this is a chance to train some horses for larger stake races while enjoying part of their late summer vacation. Tomorrow on Midday 16, Sports Watch 16's Jay Christopher will talk to Weather and Heber about driving and training their horses here at the Bloomsburg Fair and using the half-mile track as sort of a proving ground. By the way, Darlene Heber rode behind Tough Robbie in the 6th race this afternoon and finished 2nd. And, of course, we'll be keeping track of all the racing here all week long here at the Bloomsburg Fair. And one more thing, we will have the Monday Night Football game tonight, the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. I like the Bears, but in a close one. Now, let's go back to Nolan. Nolan?
All right, Tim, thank you. And in just a moment, we'll show you some fairgoers here today who had a very, very good time in Bloomsburg when Newswatch 16 continues.
What would you think of a new Pennsylvania lottery game in which you could miss 4 numbers and still win the jackpot? Sound like fun? It's Super 7 from the Pennsylvania Lottery. The jackpot is great, and so is the challenge. You pick 7 numbers, the lottery picks 11. Match 7 of the 11 numbers drawn in any order, and you win the super jackpot. And if you can't decide which numbers to play, let Quick 7 pick for you. It's challenging new Super Jackpot Super 7.
Enterprise Aluminum, your complete source for energy-efficient window and door products. Consider Prime Replacement Windows. They're insulated, maintenance-free, easy to clean, and easy to install with retrofit. Retrofit means windows are replaced without additional remodeling to your home.
storm doors keep your home warm this winter and ventilated this summer. Storm windows increase your heating and cooling efficiency by 15%, and they're available in all styles, sizes, and shapes. Enterprise aluminum, enhancing the quality of your life and increasing the value of your home.
Well, there's a whole lot to see and do, of course, at the Bloomsburg Fair. And when you turn our man on the Pennsylvania Road, Mike Stevens, loose, you never can tell what he's going to find. So let's find out what Mike found today. I bet it'll be food on the Pennsylvania Road at the Bloomsburg Fair.
For some folks here, getting ready for the fair is about as much work as the fair. Dick and Betty Kelchner were out in their 5 acres of blueberries near Berwick a couple months ago, picking and freezing berries to make sure they have enough for muffins during the fair.
It's the nice juicy berries that makes a good tasty muffin.
The Kelchners take an assembly line approach to the making of blueberry muffins. Some of this, some of that. Mom made muffins the same way.
Because we wanted a bigger muffin, you know, when the recipe called for it. And then we added some things to it that weren't in the original one, so we monkeyed around.
Dick and Betty will tell you they put 1.5 pounds of blueberries in every 20 muffins. But he likes to add a few more.
Well, it makes it more colorful, and the people know that there's berries in the muffins, and on top of there, they show up nice when they're being baked.
The Kelchner's little oven almost never gets a break. Before the fair is over, it'll turn out more than 5,000 muffins. If you like chocolate-covered blueberries, they're here. Blueberry milkshakes are too. That and more in the trailer that Blueberries built. But what sells the most are muffins, each a little pile of blueberries with some batter thrown in. Ask anybody. It makes the Kelchner's work worth it. I'm Mike Stevens, Newswatch 16, on the Pennsylvania Road at the Bloomsburg Fair.
And now I know why Mike has requested to be here every day this week and why we've said yes, and we'll be along with him. So, Karen, we have one message for you tonight from all the people that are behind me here. Gang, say it. Hi! Hi, Karen.
Hello, everybody. Nolan, I've never had chocolate-covered blueberries. You have to bring some back.
I promise. I promise.
Okay. Thanks. See you later. And that is Newswatch 16 for tonight. Be sure to join us on the update when we'll have the gas mileage rating for the new cars. World News Tonight is next for the team, including the crew in Bloomsburg. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy your evening.